Episode 8?
Episode 8. Welcome back to Be Good to Your Brother.
I'm going to put this down. You talk to him for a minute.
Yeah, I'll try to talk to him for a second. We've got to find out a solution for my microphone. I listened to the last episode and it sounds pretty rough. We tried to make something work today, but that failed. And we're going for good enough. So, sorry to disappoint. We'll have something figured out next time, though.
Yeah, whatever he just said.
Yeah, talking about the mic situation.
Yeah, it is what it is. So we're doing the best we can with what we got.
The best we can. I don't know what's going on. I've got a 99% under me.
99%?
Yeah, I'm like on my window, like where I can see myself, it says 99%.
Does it say uploaded next to it? I bet it
No.
does. Does it say 94 now? Does it keep going up and down?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's upload. It's uploading to the website so I can download it later.
Oh,
mine's got the same thing.
I didn't pay attention to that last time. My bad.
Anyway, how you been?
Pretty good. Got a little sick this week, but yeah, a little like stomach bug action.
Carolina flu.
North Carolina. I don't know what it was. I've changed my diet up a little bit. I was eating like the same thing for all 3 meals every day, and I think that's what it was. But
that'll do it.
I feel a lot better, and yeah, we're working through it.
BK's gonna get upset at you for eating the same 3 meals every day.
BK,
you be switching it up.
She's worried about me. I'm good now though. Brandon came and saw me for the weekend. That really helped.
Well, that's cool. She drive or fly?
She drove out here. She surprised me.
Hey, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. But I haven't. What has been about a week since we talked? I guess
it's been 8 days.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't had. Well, I was about to say I haven't had much going on, but I have had a decent bit going on actually. We had 2 track meets last week. We had, I guess, just the 2 track meets. I'm going to talk about a pretty cool milestone I hit this past week. It's April 1st is the recording of this. April Fool's Day. Happy April Fool's Day. I didn't play any pranks on anybody, but I couldn't think of any good ones. But I hit day 600 of running at least 2 miles a day, every day without stopping.
Wow.
600 days in a row this past week.
Congratulations.
So today was day 604. I ran 9 miles this afternoon, and it sucked. Oh, it was awful. But I'm still recovering from Sunday, 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
One of the cooler things I've done, I would say. One of the, probably, if not one of the hardest things I've done in a 19-mile run at just a blistering pace. But we might talk about that in a minute. We're just kind of going free willy right now. I mean, we're just
going free willy. We're free balling today. That's all good.
We're just going to sit and go on for a little bit. I've got a couple of ideas, but
I've got an idea. I've had a whole day of free balling, dude. We were supposed to have a truck of stuff to install today, but the truck broke down when it got to our shop in Richmond, so it's not here today.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 2 guys there ready to work on my stuff, and we didn't have anything to work on, so I just found stuff for them. And they got to about lunch, and they got done with everything I could find, and I couldn't find anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I hung out for a couple more hours, and then I went to the hotel. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit on that. I mean, but you're just getting paid to sit around, so that ain't too bad.
No, it's not the worst thing that can happen, for sure.
But anywho, I haven't been doing much when it comes to my work or school or whatever, because my 2 online classes ended, and that's where all my work was, really. My in-person classes didn't have hardly any work to it, so I feel like I've not been doing anything productive anyways. When it comes to school, I've just been going to class and all that junk. But anywho, I've been Last week we went to Madison Central last Tuesday. We had a track meet there, and it went all right. We had some decent. It was okay. We had a pretty bad practice that Monday, but it kind of showed in the meet. But anywho, Friday night we hosted at the high school. Hosted our third ever track meet. Hosted there, so that was pretty cool. There was about 7 teams there. Boys came in first place. The girls came in second. We beat Powell County. That was my main goal, was to beat
Let's
Powell
go.
County. I was telling them all week. I said, if we lose to Powell County, I'm quitting. But and we didn't. We did not lose to Powell County. So that was nice. But
Well,
we were
good.
watching. We were trying to keep up with the Kentucky game while it was going on because Kentucky was playing Tennessee in the Sweet 16, and as you know, they got beat. So that was sad. Kentucky getting beat in that game, but anyhow, it was a good time. That track meet was good. Let's see. That's pretty much all I've been into this week. I haven't been into too much. Thursday we're gonna go see the Minecraft movie. Yippee!
There's a Minecraft movie?
Have you not seen the trailers for the Minecraft movie?
No. Does it look good?
No, it looks awful, and I'm
Oh.
up for it. It looks terrible. After we get done,
Wow.
you gotta watch the trailer for the Minecraft movie.
Gotcha.
It's Jack Black's in it. He plays Steve. It's Jason.
Why's Jack Black play Steve, bro?
I don't know. Have you not heard about the Minecraft movie?
I don't know,
You've been
dude.
living under a rock?
I've been living in a Toyota factory.
Fair enough.
And the Spark by Hilton.
The Spark? That's the
Spark.
name of the hotel?
They don't have guest laundry. Gabe, I could be here till August without laundry.
August?
Yeah,
They're saying August now? Oh
August.
my gosh.
Yeah.
You're going to have to move down there. Get you a little house. Get a
Yeah,
apartment or something. Get a
little
lease
apartment.
going. But
Buy a camper down here and live in it. It'd be nice.
That honestly be kind of fire.
That's what a lot of my millwrights do. A lot of them guys live in a camper.
Really?
Yeah.
Get you a little Airstream. But anywho, the Minecraft movie, we're seeing that Thursday night. Then Friday, I'm about to say flying out, but I'm driving out Friday night after our track meet in Oneida, Kentucky. What county is that in? I don't even know. Oneida Baptist Institutional is where we're going and having a track meet Friday night. So when I get home at like midnight Friday, we're going to drive down to Florida, and we're going to be in Florida for a week. So that's going to be fun.
It's exciting.
I'll bring my laptop, and we'll have our whole podcast set up. Might get a guest on. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
We might get a guest if you want. I'll have to ask around. But
I'm down.
But I'm always down for a guest. But yeah, that's just kind of what's been happening with me here lately. I guess we can go into kind of some important stuff instead of just sitting here
Just yapping.
yapping for a little bit. We'll talk about some important stuff. At least it's important to me. Day 600 was, shoot, let me look. It was 4 days ago. I think it was Friday. Let's see. 4, 3, 2, 1. It was Friday. Friday night was day 600. And I really didn't even realize it because I remember like day 500, I had a big old celebration. I made a YouTube video and posted about it and posted it on. It was a pretty cool little music video type thing I made, which I
remember that.
I really enjoyed doing that and really enjoyed making that, and got some cool feedback. But I didn't really do nothing special for day 600. I went and ran. My schedule had me running 9 miles, so I went and ran 9 miles at a 7:40 pace, which is crazy because today's pace I ran 9 miles at 8:32. So it just shows how much a few days can make a difference, and especially what I done Sunday night, which I'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
But didn't really have nothing because I was rushed. I went to school, then I came home for a little bit, and I had to be up at the high school a lot earlier than I thought I did. So I just felt rushed. But I had to get my run in before I went to the locker rooms at the high school and took a shower there and all that stuff for the track meet. Didn't even have time to run home, but we got it in. But Sunday night, I had the longest run of my life scheduled. I had 19 miles, and that was kind of intimidating to me. Like I said a few weeks ago when I was talking about the 18-mile run, it was intimidating to me.
Yeah.
But it was just one of the things I really didn't think about it that much. And I really appreciate Corey Beagle for this, because Corey, he's on the track team. He ran a little bit with me. And now let's just pull up the splits from that 19-mile run. As you can see, I rated it. Oh, you can't really see, but I rated it as a 10 on the.
Oh, there you go.
There, I rated it as a 10. It was the hardest thing I've on my thing. But my first mile was 7:50. Let's just say I averaged a 7:21 pace. My first mile was a 7:57. So that first mile, I was moving real slow, just kind of like warming up, and I felt like I was just gonna take it easy. It was kind of my plan. But around about the half-mile mark, Corey met up with me. He lives up on Broadway, so he came down and he met with me down there on River Drive, and like he was kind of moving kind of fast. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna move fast too, And we started getting after it, and we were holding a consistent about 7:25 pace, and I held that pace for like my second mile 7:26, third mile 7:25, and he only ran about those 2 or 3 miles with me. He might have ran 3.5 with me.
Mm-hmm.
We went down to El Ranchito and turned around, and he went home just because, I told him, I said, one, he's on the track team. I said, I don't want you running like this much. It's not good for you while you're going for track, trying to get speed in and stuff. And he said, well, good, because I can't keep. He's like, he was struggling. He wasn't keeping up very well because he was tired because he just ran like a track meet 2 nights ago.
Jeez.
But so he ran on home, and then my 4th mile was 7:20, 5th mile was 7:10, and I'm like, all right, we're going. Like if I wasn't even looking at my paces. I'm just like I was feeling great. Like just my legs are feeling good. I wasn't out of breath ever. I had like a 160 to 164 heartbeat the whole time. It just like averaging like 165 heartbeat, and it didn't feel like it was too much. It didn't like a lot of times I like to just listen to my body and see how it feels, and I was feeling great. So I'm just keeping them pace 7:10, 7:17. The 7th, you can kind of tell like every 3 miles you would turn around basically, and the wind would be blowing in a different direction every 3 to 5 miles. It's just so like some of them were faster, some of them were slower. But 7:16, 7:17, 7:12. I mean, I'm just keeping this hard pace, running hard, and around mile 12, I'm feeling great. My half marathon, I'm feeling great. 14, I'm feeling great. Then 15 is what they call the wall. Well, I guess in the marathons is around mile 20 or mile 22. But I felt like I hit a wall in mile 15 because it was just so much harder to move, and the wind was blowing in my face. But I just kind of told myself, I said, I'm not going to let this affect me or affect what's going to happen on the rest of this run. So about mile 15, I turned around where the wind was to my back, and I remembered the verse that we talked about last week on the podcast, Romans 5:3. Where Paul he said that, golly, I gotta pull it up because I don't want to misquote it. Romans 5:3. Not only so, we glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance. And that just kept popping into my mind. I'm suffering. This is awful. This is painful. I hate every second of this. But guess what? I'm going to glory in it. And then that's when I recorded that video that I sent to you that I had you post on the TikTok.
Yeah.
I put it on my Snapchat story as well. And I'm like, we're going to keep this pace and we're going to get through it. So mile 15 was 7:13, 16, 7:14, 17, 7:16, 18, 7:15. And I remember I got to that mile 16. I'm like, all right, just 5K left. Now I get down to mile 17. All right, just got 2 miles. I've done this for 600 days. I can run 2 miles. I can run 2 more miles. 18. I'm like, I just got 1 more mile. Then finally on the 19, I was dead. My 19th mile was 7:31, but which was my second slowest besides my first mile. So my first mile was my slowest, and my last mile was my second slowest. So I thought that was kind of neat. But anywho, I learned a lot from that run of just to be, I don't know, just for my race, I'm going to have to plan it out to where I take those little, because I know I could have kept that pace if I really put my mind to it for another, 7 miles.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been rough. It would have been hard, but I could have done it mentally, because it's all mental things. It's all a mental mind game. I mean, that you gotta fight, and you gotta fight through, because that pain's just going to be temporary for a little bit. I mean, as soon as you quit running, it's going to go away. But like the breathing and, all that struggles, it'll go away. But it's just a mental thing. So I can push through it. It's just, I need to, when it comes to the race, I have to strategically plan it out to run a little smarter than that. Because that one I was just, just going as hard as I'm not as hard as I could, but kept a hard, steady pace for a long time. And yeah, so I learned that I needed to I'll have to work on that a little bit. Also learned that, I can do it, because there was a lot of doubt going in to this, is that, am I going to be able to run this 7:30 pace that my goal was, because that's my goal, is run a 7:30 pace marathon. And I think it's like 3:15 to 3:20 or something like that. A minute, or 3 hours and 20 minutes, whatever, for the marathon. And there was some doubt in my head that I wouldn't be able to do that, because I haven't been able to keep that pace yet for that long of a distance. And so that was reassuring that, well, you can actually do it. And so, but it's crazy, if I wouldn't have had Corey running with me at the beginning there, I probably wouldn't have did that night. I wouldn't have been able to pick myself up and go that little farther. So, or that little faster, kept going. So that was kind of neat. Corey was a accountability partner right there, whether he knew it or not, whether I knew it or not. I didn't realize it until, I don't know, 5 minutes ago when I started talking about this. So that's pretty neat that Corey was there to help me out, whether he realized it or not. But I remember getting done. It's bad. It's closing on 10 o'clock. It's probably like 9:45. I started at 7:30 that night, Sunday night. So it was neat seeing the sun set and get all dark, because you start when it's daylight and you finish when it's dark. That was kind of neat. But getting there towards the end, I'm like, I'm going to run up the steps to the courthouse. And it was like an extra 0.5 mile or 0.05 miles. So I get there, and I'm like stumbling up to the top of the courthouse, kind of feeling like Rocky. Then I just sit there for a minute. And I'm like, holy crap, I just did that. And it was cool, because I was listening to our podcast after I got done running with Corey. Like, once Corey left me and he went on back home, I put our podcast in. I listened to it for about the hour, however long it was.
Yeah.
We talked. I listened to it, then I just kind of put on some music, and that held me through the next 30 minutes. And I was listening to a song called "The Garden" by Bo Stalich. I think it's how you say his name. But that song's so good. The Garden. Let me look it up. Let me pull up the lyrics to it. But I was just listening to this song towards the end. The first line says, "I'll bury fear in the garden with the bugs and the fallen, 'cause I believe in the gospel and I believe in love." And that's just such a cool little story, or a cool little thing. I'm just going to bury my fear away. I'm just going to throw my fear to the side and not let it affect me. All my doubts, all my fear, just going to throw it away. Why? Because I believe in the gospel and I believe in love, and that's such a cool thing to me. And just the tone of that song, and just it's kind of relaxing, and I recommend it. The Garden by Bo Stallach. She's got some good songs too. But
The Garden by Bo what?
Stallach. I don't know.
Okay.
Stalloch. But The Garden. It's that album's pretty good too. It's new. It came out March 7th when that song came out. But I believe in the gospel. I believe in love, and that was just one of them things I kept repeating myself. I kept repeating Romans 5:3 in my head, and it's just because I got done, and it was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. Just sitting there and just running for 2 hours and 20 minutes or however long it was, and it was just brutal, absolutely brutal. But it's good preparation for April 26th, because April 26th is coming up.
Coming up fast,
three and a half weeks away. So
yeah.
I mean, it's coming up on me pretty quick, and I got to be ready for it. So I've got one more very long run. I got a 20-mile run, not this weekend, but the next weekend. So I'm gonna have to get prepared for that, and so hopefully my body has time to heal up and all that stuff. But yesterday I couldn't walk, bro. It was awful. I got out of bed and it felt like I got hit by a truck, and I had to go to my boxing class that morning, and it was.
I bet that sucked.
And I told the coach, I said, dude, listen, I'm marathon training right now. My legs are killing me if I'm not moving around very good. Just bear with me. So it was brutal, but that boxing class is interesting, but it's kind of fun, I guess.
I bet it is.
But yeah, I ran 2 miles yesterday, like a 9:20 pace. I mean, for me, that's so slow. It felt like I was walking, but it just hurt to move any faster.
Oh yeah.
But today I went 9 for, 8:20 earlier. So, I mean, I felt a little better today. My hips were still kind of hurting. My feet haven't been hurting me, thankfully. Got good shoes for that, so thankfully they haven't been bothering me too much. But got 10 tomorrow, then I got, I think, 5, then 12 Friday.
How long do you sit in your car after a long run? I'd probably have to sit there for like half an hour before I can move.
No, not really. I mean, I sit from the time I get done, or one of those long runs, I guess. I probably sat 15 minutes. But like today, I sat for like 5 and just left. And like the other day, I just got right in my car and drove home because I was in a rush. But it just kind of depends how I'm feeling. Usually I sit there. There's like this little concrete thing with like some shrubs and stuff in it.
Yeah. No.
Usually I just sit there for a little bit, kind of get my bearings back. Then I realize, oh crap, I'm just sitting here without a shirt on and people are staring at me. So I'm just gonna go get back in the car and drive home.
Hey, you're one of many in this county, buddy. It's okay.
At least go back. Let me tell you about this. So I'm running today. This is kind of a funny story. I'm running today, and I don't know why, but this Tesla drove by on Main Street, which is kind of odd seeing in Estill County.
Yeah.
But you see this Tesla drive by, and this guy's just doing this to me with his middle finger up in the air, just flipping me off. I'm like, what in the world?
You know what? That makes me want to come home.
I'm like, what in the world?
And throw rocks at somebody's Tesla.
Well,
was it blue?
No, it was red.
It was a red Tesla.
But
good.
The guy was just waving the middle finger at me. I'm like, well, I hope that guy's doing all right. But
hope he has a good day.
I looked at him. I'm like, because I like waved, and he just like, because I usually like kind of wave at the cars or whatever that drive by, and I'm on the sidewalk too. I didn't even think I was in the wrong, but he just waving one of these, middle finger up in the air. But anywho,
Yeah, I love that guy.
Once I got back to the car, I called Noah and told him about it. Like, I didn't take any offense to it because I don't care. I mean, I don't care what other people think about me, but it is what it is. I just thought it was kind of funny, kind of neat. Because, like, most of the times you're running and you're like, hey, what's going on? And they'll be like, hey, man, how are you doing? Or something like that. Today, I scared some old lady. I felt really bad because we were running. I was running, and she was walking this way towards me, and I was going that way. And I waved at her. I said, hey, what's going on? She waved back, how you doing, all this. And she had headphones in. She was just getting an afternoon walk-in or whatever. So I get to my turnaround point, and I'm coming back, and I'm running the other way. And she just kind of like stops and just kind of stops in the middle. So I'm about to get over to the right and try to get around her. But I don't want to like scream out, hey, or something like that. Well, she goes over, and it's in front of the old Family Dollar store there in Estill Springs, and there's like this place, and she sits down there, like on the concrete. She sits down, and I come by, and she looks at me and just jumps. She said, oh my. I'm like, I'm so sorry. She's like, oh, it's okay. Then I just kept going, but I scared the crap out of her.
It happens.
I felt kind of bad, but.
Hey, somebody in a Chevy Silverado threw a full Mountain Dew at me on Regis one time whenever I was running on Regis. He chucked a full can of Mountain Dew at me, Gabe. I even got in the ditch for him to go by.
He probably didn't see you and was trying to just.
No, he definitely did. He had like a quarter mile to observe that there was a person in the ditch.
Just chucked a Mountain Dew at you.
Yeah, he's in the passenger seat.
You get that every now and then, but
yeah.
You get that every now and then. Not everyone's going to be nice to you and kind to you, but anywho, that was just kind of my experiences here lately. That 19 miles, I was proud of that. That was very cool, but. I'm not going to say it didn't hurt. I'm not going to say it was easy because that'd be lying. Because it hurt. It hurt very. It was hard. And after this marathon's going to be hard. But it's going to be rewarding. Very rewarding. Do hard things.
Sure. Do hard things. Good for you.
Mm-hmm. You got any stories? What's been going on with you?
I've been in North Carolina, bro. Ain't much happening. I work.
Anything interesting happen at work?
Some safety incidents that I can't talk about.
Like that big toolbox?
Like I can't talk about. There's been some other things, but yeah, I mean, it's just, the project, it got bigger for my company. We got more work from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it got extended. Like I said, it could be August by the time I get done with this, which is all right because it's good money and it doesn't happen often,
Yeah.
Most of our work is doing modifications on existing stuff, not installing like brand new stuff, especially not in a brand new building.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because their safety is like way, way more relaxed to what I'm used to. Like we don't have to wear sleeves in there.
Oh, really?
Like I walk around in there and I feel naked because I don't have sleeves on. But yeah, man, not much interesting. I did. I guess I'll jump into my one topic here that I've
go
prepared.
Go for it.
It was kind of the difference. We've talked a lot about showing up, and we say that showing up's half the battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think another majority of your battle is being easy to find.
Ooh.
And I thought about that today. Just be easy to find. That takes you from just showing up. It's like sure you can just show up to work. Like I could go to work even right now, and I could get there and I could hide in the corner and nobody would know I was there and I wouldn't have to do anything. But kind of taking it up another level and being easy to find, being available. Mm-hmm. And this is just kind of how I've observed it recently in work, but I think you can apply it even to just to yourself. Like be there for yourself be easy to find for yourself. You don't avoid what you want. Don't avoid your problems. It'll get you pretty far, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know, because I'm only 20. So there's no value in anything I have to say.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm here saying it, so nobody's stopping me. But be easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that today, and I really liked it. It made me think of a Theo Vaughn quote on his podcast. He said, "Don't be hard to pet."
Don't be hard to pet.
Don't be hard to pet. I really like that. Theo Vaughn has some pretty serious moments on his podcast.
I know it. I was listening. I listened to about every one of them he posts. He posted one, just a solo episode today, and I listened to it, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not.
He gets pretty deep,
but I listen to him. I listen to him a lot. He's my favorite podcast to listen to.
But he said, "Don't be hard to pet," kind of joking around, but it also had some depth to it because I can't remember what it was. I think he was talking about self-love, and he's like, it's so easy to put yourself down, and you shouldn't do it. It's not good for you. You should accept. I mean, don't break your arm patting your back or anything, but you should. I think you should enjoy your victories.
Mm-hmm. Which
I think you should let other people enjoy your victories too and celebrate you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really like Theo. He says some, he's a comedian, so he's going to say some funny stuff. But he's relatable, man. Not in every aspect, but he's just one of them guys you can sit down and listen to, and you agree with it. It's like everything he's saying, it feels like it's the truth. Maybe it might be
for the most part.
For the most part, anyways. I mean, he does say some things.
Pretty out there stuff.
Yeah, that episode he had with Antonio Brown, that was...
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That was wild, but anywho.
I need to watch that.
Anywho, but I like Theo. That one he was talking... Today, it was titled Chili, or Pickle Chili. I'm like, what in the world? He starts telling this story about how he's going to a chili cook-off, and he's like... apparently he's not real big on chili. He's like, it was just one of them soups. He said it's just one of them soups that just kind of out there or whatever. But he said, I want a little pickle on my chili. I want to add some pickles to my chili. I'm like, what kind of psycho puts pickles on chili? I mean, I'm crazy. I don't even like beans in chili, but this guy's putting pickles in chili. But anywho, he's like, yeah, sometimes. But this guy that was serving the condiments to the chili and all this stuff at the chili cook-off, he's like, you got any pickles I can put in the chili? He's like, pickles in your chili? And he just kept repeating. It's pretty funny. You'll have to listen to it. But he kind of just danced around the point and brought all this stuff. It was like, his main point to it was, sometimes people can't give you what you're looking for. Like, he was looking for pickles in his chili, and that guy couldn't give it to him. So sometimes people's not going to be able to give you what you're looking for, and you got to go out and get it yourself. I'm like, holy crap! That's actually a really good point. Like, you can't just wait around and wait for someone to give something to you. You got to go out and work for it, and actually got to go out and get it. And then he brought up a story about him and his mom, and I'm like, holy crap, dude! Like, he just made this comedic point and actually had some really cool in-depth stuff to it. It's like sometimes you just need a little, or you can't get your pickles and chili or whatever. But it was really cool point, that story he told with his mom, and just how you can't people don't always give you what you want, so you got to be able to get it on your own, because you got to be able to work and get the pickle on the chili or whatever. But anyhow, I like that. I was listening to that while I was running today. That's the only time I listen to podcasts is when I'm running.
Yeah.
Because that feels like the only free time I get to do that sort of thing.
listen on my way to work.
Mm-hmm.
I usually listen to a Theo Vaughn every week, and or not a Theo Vaughn. I usually listen to a Rogan every week. I listen to us every week.
Yeah.
I usually choose up on my commutes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Sometimes you just gotta go get things on your own because people ain't gonna give stuff to you. You got any other topics? Anything to add on that? I've kind of got one.
You go ahead. You've got something to add.
All right. So I'm sitting in class today, right? This class is fundamentals of no, it's not. What's this class called? Prevention of athletic injuries and whatever. It's an athletic training and personal training class, and I didn't realize this when I signed up for it because I'm not going to be an athletic trainer or a personal trainer or physical therapist, not personal trainer. Sorry, physical therapist, ATPT. So I signed up for this class because I was thinking it was going to get me closer to a coaching minor. Well, I ran out of time. I should have took this class earlier, so I would have got the coaching minor. So I'm taking this class and another one just basically as electives that are kind of pointless. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. But I'm taking this class. It's hard for me to care about it because I'm not really. I mean, it's really not even that useful for me. But anywho. But I'm sitting in there, and she's going about her thing and stuff, and she's going on about how to. It's called HOPS, as the acronym, the principle. It was like how you test someone's got an injury. You gotta say someone sprains an ankle on the football field. You gotta go up. You go like, all right. So how'd this happen? That's the history. You gotta observe it. You gotta see if there's swelling. Palpitation. Is that when you touch things?
Palpitation.
That's when you touch it and like feel the ankle, feel if it's swollen, feel if it's broken or anything like that. Then the special test that you test on it or whatever. I can't really remember. I don't even care that much. But anywho, but she's going on about this stuff and. So she's saying once an athletic trainer gets out on the field, she says what's kind of the unwritten rule or kind of like the outside pressure that is felt from other people on the athletic trainer of when they're out there doing their job and they're out there helping out the injured athlete or whoever's down on the ground. And nobody's saying anything because no one says anything in that class. And I'm like, fine, I'll say something. The pressure is that they want to keep the game rolling, right? Somebody gets hurt, somebody rolls an ankle. You want to get them off the court immediately, right? Get them off the court so we can keep the game going.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, that's right. It's like that's the pressure felt. But is that correct? Is that the right way? It's like, well, I guess not because if that patient or if the athlete or whoever's not ready to move, right, if they're hurt like they got a spinal cord injury or whatever, and if you move them too soon, it can do more damage. So you don't that clock, there's not a clock to get them off the floor. You sit there and you take however much time you need to get them off the floor or off the field or whatever. And she was just kind of going in on that. It's like there's not a clock for that. There's not a specific time that you shouldn't rush that. You don't need to rush getting them off the floor. And I'm like, well, I guess that's true. And that just kind of, that's all the thought I had to it until I got into the shower after I got done running today. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, what's stuff to talk about? What's stuff to relate to for the podcast that we're about to record? And I'm thinking, I'm like, that story, that can actually kind of relate to this, right? It can kind of relate to my life because how often are we pressured to do things instantly, right? To there's this outside pressure, this outside clock to go and do things, right?
Yeah.
How often are we pressured to do that? And I'm thinking about that. It's like, that's often, right? We're often pressured to do things in a timely manner or to, I don't know, get married, start a family type situation, and just instantly, right? As soon as you get out of school, because again, I was listening to Theo today, and he had people calling in. It's like they're 18 years old or whatever, calling in. Like, it's like, Theo, I just got my girlfriend pregnant. What do I do? Can I get some advice or whatever? And he gives advice. I'm like, there's just like, and he said, well, you're going to have to grow up real fast, right? And that's one of the things he said. I'm like, well, there's all these pressures for, I guess, people our age or for people, just kind of like us, that's just like, well, you got to go instantly. Do this, do this, do this, do this. You got to check off this box, check off this box, grow up, grow up, grow up real fast. And which is good for people to, get up and grow up and have responsibilities and have jobs and be productive and be responsible individuals. But when it comes to other things, I just feel like people are rushed a lot of times, right?
I definitely agree.
Whether you realize it or not, it's like these people, or either your parents or just whatever, just feel like you're rushed and on certain decisions. So I was just kind of thinking about that. I'm like, well, I like how she said it, or I like how she said you have to do that job in this timely manner, right? You get out on the field, and if you don't help this person out, if you don't do this quick, I mean, they could either, if they were like bleeding out or whatever, they could bleed out. Sometimes if they were passed out and you need to go on CPR, they could sit there and die. So you got to get there and do things quickly and do things the right way. But there's not a timeline of when that can happen, or how, if it takes longer than other situations. You know what I'm trying to say here? It's like,
yeah, it's not the game
it's
that's important in that situation.
Yeah.
It changes whenever there's somebody injured.
So I guess what my point is, coming back around to this, is that you can start. You don't have to. There's not a certain time in our lives to start things, but once you start them, you have to do it the right way. Is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. You can't skip steps. You can't jump ahead, skip to the end. You have to do things the right way, and it kind of brought back to me with losing weight and stuff. It's like it took me 2 years to do that, to lose or a year and a half, 2 years to lose the 100 pounds and to be where I'm at today, and be at the weight I was today or am today, and it took me like a year and a half to do that, but I didn't. But I started it. It's like I didn't do it instantly, but I started it and kept at it. So I guess just some people start things later than others, and I'm not saying that that's either good or bad. I'm just saying that's just how stuff happens, and sometimes we're pressured to. It feels like people kind of pressuring you to do things quickly. I don't know what I'm trying to get with that. I just kind of had that thought, and it kind of related because I don't know.
I remember high school, and for me, earlier than high school, I've kind of talked about that a lot, as I always felt a lot of pressure to grow up, and like I definitely felt like I had to have my stuff figured out the day I graduated high school, and to be really frank, I think it's stupid to pressure a young man into thinking that he has to know exactly what his life looks like at 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you've got some sections in life. Your first 16 years are like learning how to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Not literally, but figuratively. You're just trying to figure out how to walk, and then you got to start running whenever you get to like into your 20s and adulthood. You got to start running, and you got to cover ground. You gain responsibilities and stuff you have to take care of, and that's the biggest chunk of your life is having responsibilities. Like 20 to 65 is like the retirement age.
Mm-hmm.
And like I kind of looked at high school like I'd finished my baby steps, and now it was time to like figure it out and start walking. start running, I guess. And to tell somebody that they have to have their whole life figured out now that they've graduated high school, I think is stupid. Because like I've done all right in my time of like being an adult. I think I've done pretty okay. I could have done a lot better, I'm sure, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like if I go to work tomorrow and I completely screw something up, and I cause like a $2 million error somehow, and my boss or like that gets sent to our company, and my boss figures it out, and he has to pay $2 million to fix my screw up. He's gonna call me, and he's gonna tell me to pack my crap and go home. He's gonna say it a lot harsher than that.
Yeah.
But that's what he's gonna tell me, and I would. And I have no lacking confidence that if that happened tomorrow, I could figure it out, and I could make something else work, because I've got the rest of my life to make stuff work. There is no. I've kind of been big on that recently. I've talked about you're where you're supposed to be. I don't think there's any pressure to grow up. There's I mean, it's easy to look at the destination, but I think life. I mean, I have a destination I want to get to after my life. You know, I want to see those gates and get in them.
Yeah.
But I think the journey there is really important. That sounds super cliche, but I think it's real. I think if you spend your whole life waiting to live your life, then you will have lived your life and you won't even know it.
Yeah.
It'll just be gone. How you spend your day is how you spend your year, and how you spend your year is how you spend your life.
Ooh, that's neat.
Higher Up Wellness. Love that guy. That guy's my dog. I've never met him, but I would die for him right now.
But I mean, that just goes along with like you said, you're all where you're supposed to be, and just following along in God's plan. You know, I mean, you gotta just trust in Him and know that something will come up. You know, something it'll fall in. It'll all fall into place.
I am living proof right now.
That
God will just take care of you.
I mean, it'll just all fall into place. I mean, for me personally, it just feels like it has. Like for me, I'm graduating in what, a month and a half. I don't have a job lined up. You know, I gotta like search and do all this stuff. But like, you know, it's just I don't want to say like, well, I don't want to worry about it or get too worked up about it, because you know, I got a job as a youth minister and stuff. So
yeah.
But it's just one of them things. I'm just gonna do the best I can. Do the best I can in it, and because like people always ask me, well, Gabe, what do you want to do after you graduate? And I'm like, your guess is as good as mine, man. I mean, I don't know, but because it just seems like, I guess it also goes back to, it's like, oh, the entry field's too hard. Oh, it's too hard to get a job. It's like, no, it's not too hard to get a job. It's just you don't want to put in the work to go get the job. And at least that's my attitude towards things. And I feel like I've have that attitude. It's like, I just don't want to put in the work to go out and seek a job. Because like Theo said, I mean, they're not going to give you a pickle in your chili. You know,
you gotta go get that pickle.
You gotta go get that pickle. They're not just gonna give you a job. You actually got to go out and look for it, right? In most situations. So you got to go out, and like, the employer's just not gonna come to you. So you got to go out and actually look for it. But I mean, it's just all part of God's plan. Really, it'll all fall in place eventually, and I got faith that it will. But shoot, I had a point that I was going to make earlier, then I went on this little tangent. Oh, yeah. But, like, how you said that it's foolish to have to tell somebody to have their life figured out as soon as they graduate high school. I agree with that too, because like, again, going back to the Theo podcast, this might as well just be his show. We've been talking about him so much. But
Theo and TK.
but this guy called in. He said, "Hey, I'm 18 years old. I'm in welding school, and I absolutely hate it. And my fallback was always to just join the military, but I'm not sure if I want to sign my life away for 4 years and go be in the military, or if I should stick it out in this welding school, or just something like that." It's like, well, that's someone who clearly doesn't have his life figured out, right? And he's out here trying to make these big life decisions, going into this. So there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of thought that needs to be put into ideas like that, and to put into things like that. So I just think it's kind of important to whatever decisions you make sure you have purpose behind them. Make sure that they're coming from a good standpoint, right? You don't want to be just making decisions all willy-nilly, and you need to be certain in the decisions you make, because the decision you make today will affect tomorrow, whether you realize it or not. So
Yeah. Planning's important.
Mm-hmm.
It's anytime, to go back to your point about like what are they called, like a physical therapist feeling rushed,
Yeah.
or not a physical therapist,
Athletic trainer.
An athletic trainer feeling rushed on the field, and if they let that pressure get to them, they could make a wrong decision, and they could hurt a really young individual's well-being pretty quickly. And so, just to kind of transfer that into my world, time and money is like all that everybody cares about in my field of work. Everybody's worried about time and material, time and money. And so whenever you're looking at a project that has to get done, then boss man is going to be like, yeah, get that crap done right now. Like, start on it right now. Every minute that we spend looking at it, not actively moving, is a minute wasted, and I'm losing money. That's not always the case. You've got to observe, and you've got to plan.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to look for potential safety hazards, and you've got to look for just all kinds of stuff. I mean, it depends what you're doing, but anytime you're looking at something that you need to get done, the first thing you need to do is look at it and plan.
Mm-hmm.
And it is definitely worth the time that it takes to plan than it is to screw something up and have to fix it. It'll cost you more in the long run.
For sure, yeah. Planning is important. Setting goals is important. I know, like, it kind of counteracted what we were saying about, well, just let it go and just let whatever happens. But I mean, it's good to set plans, because you're not just gonna wake up and something's gonna fall in your lap, right? You're not. If you're wanting to lose weight, if you're wanting to, get healthy, or do whatever, or work for something new, or you have a new goal, you want to learn something new. I mean, just whatever. Learn to play the guitar. You're not just gonna wake up and have that just magically happen. You got to work for it, and you got to set a plan. It's like, well, I want to do this, so how am I going to do this? How am I going to get there? How am I going to be able to do this? You have to plan it out, right? If you have an end goal, how are you going to get to that goal? And it's just finding that out. I mean, it's going to take time. It's going to take work, but it's just that outside pressure of, well, you got to do it fast, or you got to do it perfect. Everything's got to be perfect before I even start. Everything's got to be perfect while I'm doing it. Sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes, like, well, I want to learn this new skill, I'm going to go learn it. If I mess up, who cares? Let me try it again, right? That's just kind of the attitude you have to have towards things. You just got to go out and do things, right? And I feel like a lot of times as people, we just kind of sit back and wait for things to magically happen, and we don't go out and actively try to get things done, get the things we want. We're just waiting for the pickle in the chili, right? We're just waiting for someone to give it to us. No, we got to go out and get it. So I think that needs to be our message this episode. Go out and get what you want, because people's not going to give it to you. You got to work for it. You got to go out and get it. So,
amen to that. Go out and get it.
Pretty cool stuff. But you got any scripture?
I'm unprepared. I have no scripture.
Me too. I'm very unprepared.
We suck.
Let's see
That's
here. That's all right. We were in. I can't even remember what we talked about Sunday. What did we talk about Sunday night at church? Who knows? I've slept since then, dude. I've been so dang tired, just all the time. My body hurts. I'm so excited for this marathon stuff to be over, because I can just go to 2 miles a day and work on getting stronger and start lifting. That's my plan. I've decided.
That's the plan.
I've decided once I'm still keep the streak alive, because that streak is very important to me. I want to get to 1,000 days. I think that'll be cool. Then once I get to 1,000, we'll see. But I want to get to 1,000 days, so that's what, 2 years, 2 more years.
Yeah,
that's doable.
For sure.
Doable. I've done 604, so I mean it's doable. Actually, it's like a year and a half. It's not even 2 years, but
yeah, it's not even a year and a half.
But very doable. I'd love to get to that. But after this marathon, I got a feeling I'm not gonna be wanting to run another one very soon. So I might just stick to like the 10Ks and the 5Ks if I want to do distance. Maybe run 6 miles here. Maybe get a 10-miler in every other weekend, something like that. But nothing too crazy, because I'm wanting to get. I'm not in like the full bodybuilder mode, but I want to be able to look in the mirror and be like, hey, look at that guy. That type of deal. But that's kind of the mindset. And right now, because like there would have been no way I could have went and squatted yesterday, or even squatted today, or like here I've been trying to get like sets of push-ups in just to feel something again, like feel something in your arms again.
Feel something.
Like feel something in your arms again, because I just haven't lifted weights in forever, just because I just feel like I'm so dang tired. But I shouldn't use that as an excuse, but it is what it is. But that's my plan after April 26th. I might take, see, that's a Saturday, so maybe that Monday or Tuesday I'll probably start going to the gym. Starting slow, starting light with it, and just kind of taking, not a break, but like slow. Take it slow, kind of recovery, like week, then kind of hit hard. With the weight training
Yeah.
and stuff. I think that'd be neat, getting into that a little bit. Let's see, what's going on? What else is going on? I turned 21 6 days from now.
You and Mason.
Yeah.
I mean, Mason
doesn't turn 21. He turns, what, 14 or 15?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was in a PlayStation party with Mason the other day. We were talking like we were just like the same age, It's like he doesn't sound like a little kid.
He's
grown up.
He's grown up. I like it. I'm happy for him, but I don't like it. I see him and Gracie on Facebook, dude, and they're still like 6 and 7,
Yeah. It's like I look at Hudson, and like Hudson's like he's in middle school, and I forget that he's in middle school, and in middle school you start doing kind of cringy stuff sometimes. Like he sent me something the other day. I'm like, this is something only a 6th grader would send on Snapchat. But I'm like, yes, just because that's just what they do. I mean, we were the same way. So they got to go through it too, just like we went through it. But like, what?
Sucks though, don't
I'm
it?
like, what are you sending me right now? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. But that's just how he is, and I love him for it. But it's like, to me, it's like he's still little. He's still little. It's like I was throwing baseball with Hudson yesterday, or was that yesterday? No, it was a couple of days ago. It might have been Saturday. We were throwing baseball out in the yard, and like usually when I throw with him, like I can't throw it hard, or he throws it over my head, or doesn't make it to me, and I have to go chase it a lot. But like he still made me chase it a couple times because he was just messing around and threw it over my head a few times. But like I was actually able to actually play catch with him, and that was kind of neat because usually when I throw with him, I have to throw it soft, or he can't catch it, or he's scared of the ball. But like he's to the age now, you can actually play catch with him, so that's cool. But
I was thinking about something similar on my way from work today. Actually, I was thinking about Mason, and I was thinking about how like whenever me and you started playing Fortnite way back in the day,
yeah,
way back in the day, Mason,
2018, 2017,
2017,
seventh
Mason,
grade.
yeah, Mason was still young enough that like he was just watching me play, and like, you know, we'd play Madden and I would give him a controller and he would think he was playing.
And it wasn't even turned on.
Yeah, and now he's like the last time I played Fortnite with you guys, he was in Colorado and I was in Kentucky. And we were all on a PlayStation 5 playing Fortnite, and I was like, I feel old. I can't believe it. Like that kid goes to the park by himself.
He was telling me a story about the park the other day, and I was in a party with him. I probably shouldn't repeat it here, but it was pretty funny. He called TK. He's like, "Hey, should I come home?" And TK's probably like, "Yeah, you should probably come on home." He just saw some guy that was just kind of tweaking out. He's like, "Yeah, you should probably come on home."
He's a good kid.
Yeah.
He's been good for me.
Yeah. He's a
Like,
good one. Whenever he comes in for the wedding, he needs to be a guest.
Yeah,
Sure.
I feel like we'll have to pre-record a couple episodes. We'll have to do one with Dad and Mason.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It'd be a crime to not have TK on.
Oh yes, it would be awful.
I need to check up on his idea for a podcast.
I do. The DoorDash thing.
American Side Hustle.
American Side Hustle.
I need to check on that.
That would
I may call him after this.
That'd be fire. That podcast would be.
It would. Last time we talked about it, I was trying to convince him to just like get in on it.
Just do it.
Just start.
Yeah. No, that'd be sick. One more thing I want to mention. I want to bring up T-shirts. I feel like we need them. Drop a comment if anyone be interested in getting a Be Good to Your Brother T-shirt.
Let us know.
I think that'd be cool. It's like I went and got this raffle. I never win anything like raffles or nothing like that. But there was this health fair at EKU that I had to go to for that athletic training class I was talking about.
Yeah.
You had to go in and talk to the booths or whatever, get participation points. So I go in there and there's this raffle, so I fill out my card and put it in the bowl. And they have all these cool prizes like $50 Chick-fil-A gift card, just stuff like that. Some like shirts and like some pre-workout and protein shakes, protein powder, and all this cool stuff. And I'm thinking, it's like, okay, if I win this raffle, I get to go pick what I want from it, right? Well, I end up getting a text a couple days later. I actually won. Like there was like 10 names drawn out, and I won. I'm like, oh crap, let's go. So I signed up for the second time slot to come pick up my prize, thinking I'd get the pick. No, I don't get the pick. This woman walks out from the rec center with this jacket and a bag from this dog, like from this animal shelter in Jackson County that like saves dogs and stuff. I'm like, well, that's cool that they're doing this, but I don't want a jacket with your logo on it. And I don't want this bag with your logo on it because I've never heard of it before, and I'm not going to be rocking around repping that when I don't even know what it is. No offense to that dog.
At least you're honest.
But I'm like, So I looked at it, and she's like, "Can I take your picture with it, with your prize?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I get over there. I'm like, smile for the picture. Then I just walk out disappointed. I should have said something. I should have like, "Hey, can I like pick from the prizes?" But it was a nice jacket too. It just had that logo on it. I'm like, I don't care about this logo. But
That's pretty tough.
But anyhow, I got back to the car. I'm like, man, this would have been sick with a "Be Good to Your Brother" logo on it, like an EKU logo, or literally any other or just no logo at all.
Or if it wasn't from Jackson County.
It could have just been a black jacket, and I'd have loved it. But no, it had this ugly dog logo on it. I don't want this crap. So now it's just hanging up in the closet, and I gave the bag to Mom. She's gonna put yarn in it when we go to the beach. So. Yeah, I tried to get but anywho, but now I got this jacket. But I'm like, man, this would be cool with the "Be Good to Your Brother" logo on it. So we need to do that. We need to get some T-shirts. I think we could sell them locally because I got a feeling or we can like just give some away. Honestly, if we just get a few, we can just give them away.
I could guilt somebody into buying some for sure.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Well, guys, I feel like a lot of the people that watch this anyway are local, right?
Just take them to our station.
I mean, I'm telling you. Well, I don't want to sell stuff at church because you know that whole issue when Jesus showed up and they were selling stuff in the temple and he started flipping tables and freaking out, and that's probably not the best thing to be doing. But outside, I'm just kidding. I'll put it on Facebook. People would buy it instantly.
Throw it on Marketplace.
Instantly, people would buy it. Instantly, people would buy it. But if you like a T-shirt, "Be Good to Your Brother" T-shirt, drop down in the comments or give me a little thumbs up, thumbs down. It means you don't care. I mean, just anything.
Did we ever get to see anybody else's core values? Did anybody partake in that?
Nobody commented.
I didn't think so. I didn't see
they
any.
would.
Well,
maybe they'll see this and maybe they'll comment on it.
That's tough.
They probably don't watch to the end of it anyways.
Yeah.
But if you made it this far, drop a little comment.
Thanks for listening to me and Gabe
Yeah.
For an hour.
This was just kind of a yapping episode, but I feel like we got some interesting topics to end down.
That's okay.
But every now and then you're gonna have one of those. Especially
it's authentic.
It's authentic, right? I mean, we're not faking anything. We're just getting on here and talking about our lives and what's going on. And just this week hasn't been that eventful, that we haven't already went on about. But yeah, we got anything else? I feel like we need a Bible verse. What's your favorite Bible verse? Go.
Oh my gosh, I don't honestly know.
Have I talked about Matthew 6:34, whatever? I feel like
I don't think you have.
About worrying. I feel like I have before. I know I have before. Therefore, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own.
Yeah.
I feel like I've talked about that. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Microsoft Copilot, and we're going to say, give us a random Bible verse. No, I don't want to turn on notifications. Here we go. Give me a random Bible verse. 1 Corinthians 3:18. Let's see what it says. We were talking about 1 Corinthians at church the other night. 3:18. Alright. Do not deceive yourself. If any of you think you are wise by the standards of this age, you should become fools, so that you may become wise. What's your thoughts on that?
Pretty good.
I'll give my thoughts on that after you.
That's kind of old. I mean, you can't ask a stupid question kind of thing.
Yeah. Do not deceive yourself. If you think you're wise by the standards of this age, you should become fools, so that you may become wise.
Humility.
Yes, I can see that. What draws me about this is by the standards of this age. What would that be? The worldly views, right? if you're wise by the world, right? If people of the world think you're this, you're this wise, you're doing these great things, these worldly things, these sinful things, but you're wise at them, but you're just foolish, right? So you need to become foolish. You need to undo the sinful worldly things and become wise in the spirit. Is how I read that. Cool verse. That really doesn't go along with what we're talking about, but I mean, you could dig into that a lot.
Yeah, what was that again? 1 Corinthians
3:18. We'll move down to 19. It says, "For the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's sight." Well, I should have read that along with it because that would have made
pretty
more
good.
sense. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's sight, as it is written, He catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows that the thoughts of the wise are futile. So then, no more boasting about human leaders. All things are yours, whether Paul or Apollos or Cephas or the world or life or death or the present or the future, all are yours, and you are of Christ, and Christ is of God. That's fire. There towards the end, you are of Christ, and Christ is of God. So that's kind of relating. It's like, well, if you're with Christ, then you're with God. So, pretty neat. No more boasting about foolish things, right? The only thing that matters is Christ and God. So, when you boast in things, when you brag about things, make sure they're centered in spiritual, in godly things and good spiritual stuff. There's our Bible for today. I felt bad we didn't have anything up, but if you're wise of the standards of the world, you might need to become foolish again before you can become wise. Let me try that again. If you're wise by the standards of this age, you should become fools so that you may become wise. Kind of neat stuff that Paul's writing in there, but anywho, 1 Corinthians 3:18. Good verse from Microsoft Copilot that he gave us. We got any other topics we want to talk about?
I'm out, buddy.
All right, we'll get this outro song.
Sweet. Ooh. I don't know if I need to talk to anybody. I don't know if anybody's here. Kind of a boring episode. It's alright. Boring episodes happen. Listen to Gabe rip on the guitar.
Do what? I didn't hear a single word you just said.
I was saying that boring episodes happen. I said that's alright. Listen to Gabe rip on the guitar.
Here we go, baby.
So loud.
It is very loud. But guess what?
Loud.
We love you. Jesus loves
Jesus
you.
loves you.
Be good to your brother. Peace out.